This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised as some cases contain graphic content. We mean no disrespect to anyone we discuss in this podcast except our exes. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. However, we will be expressing our personal opinions. Buckle up, Buttercup.
Hello, everybody. It's Cynthia.
And I'm Wes, and this is Love and Luminol, a true crime podcast.
Ooh, we're taking it to outer space.
Outer space?
Yeah, we're getting into some alien murders here.
Oh, yeah. Aliens. They didn't do it.
They did it.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they signed it. They left a confession note there.
Bullshit.
No, they didn't, but...
We, the aliens, did it. They didn't do it.
So you already know which opinion he's got.
They didn't do it.
All right, well, let's get started.
Here we go.
All right, I'm going to pronounce these names wrong the entire time because this was in Brazil.
Brazil.
So I got Manoel.
Manoel.
M-A-N-O-E-L. Manoel.
Oh, Manoel.
Pereira de Cruz.
Okay.
And Miguel José Viana.
I think you got that one right.
Yeah. Manoel was 32. So not too bad. Old. Not too bad. Not too old.
Not too bad.
And Miguel was 34. So close to the same age. And here's a picture of him. Granted, you can tell it's an older case.
Yeah.
Due to the grainy black and white photos.
1920s?
No.
30s?
We'll get to it. Hold your horses.
40s?
Both men were married.
Uh-huh.
Which, I mean, back in the day at that age, probably, I guess. Most men are.
Mm-hmm.
They are two Brazilian electronic technicians from Campos dos Goitacazes. Lord,
Okay.
Don't come at me. A town 175 miles to the northeast of Rio de Janeiro.
Rio de Janeiro.
Yes. And they lived pretty normal lives. Work, family, back forth, no problems.
Mm-hmm.
They were last seen August 17th of 1966.
Wow.
Yeah, 66.
The case looks older based on the photos.
That could be newspaper clippings or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
But 1966, they told their families that they needed to go to Sao Paulo to buy equipment and a car.
Okay.
Because they were techs. So they're like, we're going to go get some electronic equipment and a car.
Okay.
They took what was worth a few $1,000 American with them.
Okay.
So load
for
up
equipment
on
and a car.
Yep.
Yep.
But instead, the two men boarded a bus to Niterói,
Niterói.
and arrived at 2:30 p.m. So instead, they hopped on a bus.
Interesting.
They're last seen around 5 p.m. heading to the hills. They pulled up at the foot of the hill in a vehicle with two other men, and someone with blonde hair was driving. So, yeah. And then on August 20th of 1966, a young boy named Jorge de Costa Alves was flying a kite up on that hill. That's the Morro do Bentem. See, I'm butchering this. You're like, yeah, you are. In Niterói, Rio de Janeiro. Whatever.
Rio de Janeiro.
Yes, when he came across two bodies, and he reported them to the police. Policia, returned them in. See, I knew that word.
Good for you.
High school Spanish paying off.
I'm so proud of you.
But police were unable to get to the bodies until the next day.
Why?
Due to the terrain in the area and the fact that it's getting dark. So when that boy came and get him, it was getting dark. They're way up in the mountains, the hills. They're like, we're not going to deal with it today.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Little boy didn't have a problem.
He's
saying.
been up and down 3 times. Are you guys coming? They're like, nah.
We'll wait till tomorrow.
It's all right. But press was there the next day when the cops arrived. So the press beat them. Probably that little boy's like, you know what? They weren't doing nothing. Hey, you guys. Want a story? But, and of course, some already got the pictures before the bodies were carried away. Because they got there first. So if the press made it up there with cameras, the cops still couldn't get up there.
They were dragging their feet.
They were. Well,
It wasn't that big of a deal.
Got all kinds of pictures.
We get bodies all the time. We'll wait till tomorrow.
It's all right. It happens.
It happens. People die.
The bodies were next to each other, partially covered in grass.
Okay.
They were wearing formal suits, like suit and tie suits,
Mm-hmm.
lead eye masks, and a waterproof coat.
Lead eye masks.
Yes, and here's a picture of their...
Like sunglasses, but they're lead.
made of lead. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Makes me think of x-rays.
Mm-hmm.
Lead eye masks and what else?
A waterproof coat and a suit and tie. Yeah.
Waterproof coat.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
And there was no signs of trauma on the bodies.
Interesting.
They were just laying there. Next to the bodies was an empty water bottle and 2 wet towels.
Okay.
And only a small amount of money was found with the bodies. So they left with 2 to 3 million, which was 420 in American dollars, 420,000.
Oh, that's a lot.
And what they found on the bodies was 160,000, or about 32,000 American dollars.
It's still a lot, but yeah.
They found, and that was Brazilian reais. So there's a significant amount missing, almost 400,000 gone. A small sheet of paper was found in one man's pocket with cryptic instructions written on them.
Okay.
It was saying, quote, 1630, estar no local determinado, 1830, ingerir cápsulas, após infieto prodagar metes, aguardar sinal mascara. I was like, I don't know, mascara. And then 1630, and this is the English translation. 1630 said, be at the specified location. And at 1830, ingest capsules after the effect, protect metals, await signal mask. That's what it said.
Interesting.
Yeah. So ingest capsules after the effect, protect metals, await signal mask. Huh. Yeah. There's a notebook in the pocket that also contained Ohm's law, which is an equation used to calculate the relationship between current, voltage, and resistance.
Yeah.
So they had some physics written in there too. So they thought it was possible notes for a project they were working on, being technician.
Just capsules, wait for effect.
Await signal.
Wait signal.
Well, it said
It makes me feel like something
when
magnetic.
effect comes in, protect the metals. It said protect metals.
Yeah.
Await signal, mask.
It's something magnetic. Oh.
Mm-hmm. And another page in the notebook also had, quote, Sunday, 1 tablet after meal. Monday, 1 tablet in morning on empty stomach. Tuesday, 1 tablet after meal. Wednesday, 1 tablet before bedtime. And the family say that neither men were sick or on any medication for anything.
It sounds like prep for
something
to keep like they were going to be exposed to some high radiation, so they were prepping so they wouldn't have radiation poisoning or something. And lead would make
masks.
sense.
Yeah.
But why masks unless it was going to be something to do with their eyes or their head? I don't know.
You're
And
like,
the metal x-rays, radiation, MRIs. I mean, some of those have effects on metals.
Mm-hmm. It was magnetic. But police reconstructed a plausible scenario for their last days.
Of course they did.
The first stop was an electronics store.
Okay.
Makes sense. They didn't talk to the store clerk or buy anything. They just kind of wandered around.
Mm-hmm.
It started to rain after they left the store.
Mm-hmm.
So they bought the raincoats at a different store nearby.
Because they were going to be outside.
Yeah. They
Okay.
raced out of the store without even putting the coats on.
Okay.
And they never bought a car on the trip.
Okay.
Evidence shows that one bottle of mineral water from a local bar was purchased. The waitress from the bar described Miguel as, quote, very nervous, and noticed that he frequently checked his watch.
Well, because they had to be certain places by certain times and take
Yeah.
pills at certain times. And yeah.
Yeah. After they purchase the water, Miguel keeps the receipt because Brazil has a return policy. And you can return empty bottles for a deposit.
So they planned on coming back.
Yeah, they planned on coming back. And he planned on returning the bottle. It is presumed that they went directly to the bar, from the bar to the spot where they were found. The coroner's office was extremely busy. Apparently the police were too.
We'll get to it tomorrow.
By the time they got to the autopsies, the internal organs were too decomposed for testing.
How long was this?
It doesn't say, but apparently they rotted enough to where they couldn't test the internal organs.
That's more than a few days.
Yeah. So testing for drugs or any toxic substances were not done. Cause of death was never determined. But a friend of the men testified that they were members of a group of, quote, scientific spiritualists.
Okay.
Yeah. So the men were apparently attempting to contact extraterrestrials or spirits by using psychedelic drugs.
Okay.
Believing that such an event would involve some bright lights, they're assuming the alien came in a craft with some bright lights, they cut metal eye masks to shield their eyes. And they may have died from drug overdoses, is what the cops were thinking.
Interesting.
Yeah. And there's a picture of the eye masks.
Huh.
Obviously, they made them themselves.
Yeah.
But
And they didn't expect to be able to see during this process.
no.
So why not just cover your eyes with your hands?
They needed to do something to protect them. They must have been expecting some radiation or something.
But they were saying it was just lights.
It was just bright light, yeah.
It was just bright lights. I'd be like, okay, let me know when it's over.
Yeah.
But to just sit there and put those things on your face like that, it has to be more of a radiation type thing. But why just your eyes?
I don't know.
I'm lost.
Me
Anyway.
too. This scenario is supported by a diary entry found at the scene, mask making materials at their home, and literature about spirits. So they found evidence that they're in this group. Sir William Crookes, a British scientist who has been to a lot of seances, he was an expert on the study of light. He said, our eyes are tuned to pick up things on a certain wavelength,
Yeah.
and our ears hear at a different wavelength.
Okay.
And he also, Crooks came up with the theory that there was another wavelength that we can communicate on telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
There's that extra wavelength. There could be an undiscovered area in our brain that will pick up on the thought waves, the same way our eyes pick up on visual waves. But there's no real evidence to support this theory.
No.
Yeah. But he was never able to complete experimenting with the idea, but his theory led to the spiritualism movement in Brazil. So that theory made people start to believe they could speak to spirits and aliens telepathically.
Sure.
They tried multiple times to contact alien spirits with their friend, Elcio Gomes. Gomes, well, I don't know. Gomes.
Gomez.
Gomez. There's no Z, so I was like, Gomez.
I'm going to go with Gomez.
Gomez. At one point, an electronic device the men had built together blew up in Manoel's backyard. So they were building something and it exploded.
Nice.
They retired that experiment. However, this time they moved testing to the beach for safety. So they're like,
Okay.
we're done with that. they rebuilt it. They moved it to the beach to try again. This was confirmed by witnesses who saw a bright orb rising into the air, then a blinding flash of light occurs and an explosion. So whatever they made, this little light came up, and then boom, bright light explosion.
Okay.
Which kind of sounds like nuclear, you think?
I wouldn't think so.
Is that what is the bright light and then this later? I don't know. But after the explosion, there's an unknown powdery substance everywhere. Like it was in the backyard the last time it exploded.
Yeah.
It leaves this powdery white stuff everywhere.
Okay.
And the explosion was felt miles away. And the Navy was already looking into it. Since his backyard thing and the beach thing now, they've already been looking into it because it could be felt that far away.
Okay.
Yeah. And the group took the orb as being an alien spirit. But that's what they were doing.
Alrighty then.
But whatever they made left a powdery residue and was felt miles away.
That's all the drugs.
I don't know what they did, but the Navy discovered 3 unknown radio stations. Yeah, one station was the one the 3 guys made to use, so they made their own radio station, I guess, to communicate in this group. The other 2 remain unknown. So there's 2 that nobody knows, but people speculate they are more members of this group cult. People call cult. But they think that's another group, but...
Okay.
Witnesses saw a, quote, disc of fire floating in the sky on top of the hill that night.
Yep.
Disc of fire, yep.
I fell into...
Yep. One lady was driving with her 3 kids, and they all saw it. It was shining a bright blue light from around it. And details of her encounter were leaked to the press, and more witnesses came forward saying they saw the same flaming ball with the blue light. So, I saw it too. They claimed to not come forward sooner in fear of being judged and thought as crazy. So they kept it in until one lady came up and they're like, okay, me too. Me too. Me too.
Me too.
Yeah. Police thought of Elcio as a suspect at one point, since Manoel's wife said they fought recently. Elcio also told the police contradictory stories, but he was cleared as a suspect. He claimed he was 200 miles away at home when the deaths occurred. And then Hamilton Benzani even told police that he helped rob and kill Manoel. So this is just a random dude came up. Said, I helped rob and kill Manoel and Miguel after meeting them at a spiritualism center and luring them to Niterói, that hill. Said, I met him at this meeting, lured him to the hill, I killed him and robbed him. Makes sense. I mean, they're missing money. Not all of the money, though. Left some.
But they couldn't really figure out how they died.
Because the organs were...
Yeah, but if he killed them, it wouldn't have been something internal. It would be something external, which would be obvious.
Well, and this is where he claims that an accomplice told him that, quote, we have killed them both. We forced them at revolver point to take the poison. Quote. So we're saying at gunpoint, they forced them to drink poison. However, police were unable to find any evidence to back this theory up. So it wasn't really investigated, I guess.
Something weird, though. Like, if somebody is holding a gun to your head and says, take this poison.
I'd rather just... Yeah.
Why? You're either going to shoot me and I'm going to die, or I'm going to take this poison and die. Slowly. I'd rather you just shoot me.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't know what it is you want me to drink. I don't know how painful it's going to be, so just...
That just seems dumb.
Do me in, yeah.
Anyway.
But the people with Manoel and Miguel, when they were dropped off at the hill, were never identified. But they were thought to be members of the same group.
Okay.
One theory is the pills they took. It is close to impossible to die from an LSD overdose. But the pills they took could have been something else.
True.
Mixed in with it. One town member said he knows a lot about the spiritualist in the area, and he claimed that Manoel and Miguel were trying to communicate with aliens telepathically.
Yeah.
And he said some spiritualists will take some drugs like LSD to help enter the higher state of consciousness, to get on that wavelength, I guess.
Yeah.
According to Flying Saucer Review, that's something you would like to read. Flying Saucer Review, 4 years earlier, another electronics technician was found dead on the hill with a lead mask.
And now that's interesting.
Yeah, same scenario. 4 years earlier. The man took some drugs because he believed it would allow him to pick up radio frequencies with his mind. The case was reopened, but police did not find any connections to Miguel or Manuel's case. So there's no connections.
No connection at all. You know, masks, drugs, same hill. No connections.
No, don't see it.
Both also electronics.
Yeah. No.
Electronics engineers.
Completely different.
I don't see a connection at all.
But another theory that came out there was the good old electrocution.
Okay.
There was no devices found on the hill and no sign of electrocution on the bodies. But decomposition could make it difficult to tell.
Sure.
But still, they're thinking, I guess, whatever they were experimenting with might have electrocuted them in the rain.
And then somebody just took whatever they had and left.
I guess. Or it blew up. I don't know.
I mean, there would be evidence of the...
Yeah.
And that whatever they had that they were working on would have still been there unless somebody took
I think
it
it's
away.
just some poor smuck in the back of this meeting at the police station. And they're like, any ideas? Anybody? And he's like, electrocution. They're like,
Electrocution.
Jimmy.
Damn
Put
it,
it in
Jimmy.
there. I mean, we got to include him. We're supposed to
Damn it,
include him.
Jimmy.
We can't bully him anymore.
You bring up electrocution every case. The guy has a bullet hole, and you still say it's electrocution.
It's like the judge on Matt
Whatever,
Singer.
just put it in there. Yeah, it's what is his name? Dr. Ken.
Yeah, Ken.
Ken Jeong.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beyonce.
It's Lady Gaga, and let me tell you why.
Let me tell you why. That's what,
I know exactly who this is.
let me tell you why. It was raining, and they were
says,
doing
I know-
experimental stuff.
I know exactly how these people died.
They had
It was
that
electrocution, and let me tell you why.
They had that Ohm's formula written down with voltage as electrocution.
Yeah.
They're like, but there's no equipment or shush. Electrocution.
Ohms can also be sound.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But one theory is murder. They may have been approached at a seance the group was doing and asked to participate in a new experiment. And they're thinking they're lured to a location and hand over some money for materials. And they were given pills that could have been poison. But it'd be a lot of effort for that amount of money, and they didn't take all of the money.
I don't know. That's not a lot of effort for a lot. That seems like quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
And
But why not take all the money?
That's the other part. Why, unless they didn't find it all. I don't know. Maybe they were in a rush and they grabbed what they could
Someone
and took
was
off.
coming up. Yeah. The boy was coming or something.
I don't know, but it's definitely not a lot of work for that bit of money.
And the last theory, aliens.
No. Sorry.
Bodies were outside on the hill for 3 days, yet no animals or insects tried to eat the body.
Okay.
I've heard this
Probably
before.
because they got poison in them and the animals were like, nope, not for me.
Exactly. But I have heard this before in other UFO cases. They're like, vultures won't even pick at the body, bugs, nothing. And I've also had people say, well, yeah, that they're poisoned. Animals don't want to eat poison.
Yeah, they can smell it.
Yeah, so, yeah, see? But no other theories support the glowing object flying over the hill.
Whatever they were experimenting on.
You're like, whatever they blew up the last 2 times.
Pretty much.
Manuel's wife confirmed that Manoel and Miguel were both members of a spiritual group, and that she saw Manoel arguing with another member of the group, Elcio Gomez.
Oh, LCO.
Same friend who drove them to the bus station was ruled out as a suspect. However, police questioned him again, and when they do, he cracks.
Uh-oh.
He says that all three men were part of a secret cult society. He claimed that nearly every electronic specialist in the area is a part of this society.
Okay.
The purpose of this group is still a mystery. He never disclosed what the purpose of this group was. But they've been known to perform weird experiments regarding spiritualism. And they've been working on a technique to be able to contact beings on Mars. So they're trying to get a hold of Mars. They believe they can contact a Martian from Mars, whether the being is alive or just a spirit. So they're trying to say I not only can contact an alien on Mars, but they don't even have to be alive. They can be a ghost alien on Mars.
Interesting.
They're reaching above and beyond there.
So
Like we're gonna go.
this gives
do
me
you one up.
This gives me Nikola Tesla vibes.
Nikola Tesla.
So Nikola Tesla worked on a lot of things involving electronics and electricity. Also claimed that he found a way to contact people on other planets.
What?
So interesting.
But reported UFO sightings increased around the time of the deaths in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So people were saying different flying saucers. We assume their testing failed, but what if it worked and they actually did contact someone and brought them here, like attracted attention?
Yeah.
Is what people were saying. But to this day, unsolved. Still a mystery.
Interesting.
There you go. So you don't think your aliens did it?
No, I don't think aliens did it.
Even if they got a page from these guys?
No.
Like, what do you want?
What do you want? You brought us here for this shit?
You brought us here with your lead masks for what? You think we'll scan your brain? It could be like the foil people wrap around their head. Maybe they don't want them to read their minds, and they think they can read their minds through their eyes.
Hmm.
I don't know. You're the alien expert.
I don't... No.
No, you're like, no. Nothing to do with my aliens. I feel like the aliens are up there like we do Casey. When Casey calls on Messenger, like repeatedly, we're up there like, hey, sending signals and stuff. And they're like, oh my God, just leave us alone. Like, shut up, block. They're like, we're like a toddler that keeps calling them repeatedly over and over and over and over. They're like, shut.
I'm looking up to see if there's any ties for Nikola Tesla in Brazil.
Oh, that's a good idea. Is he around the same time era?
No.
60s? No, before that?
But I'm wondering if they
New.
of something he was doing and they were doing the same thing.
Like their ideas, like they used him as a study in their group.
So, I mean, there's a New Earth Nikola Tesla Academy in Brazil.
Oh.
And maybe I'm missing something because I'm trying to hurry here. But I'm not seeing anything specific to Brazil other than that institute. And the pictures I saw seemed like it was a bunch of people getting together in suits, which kind of is weird about this. But I don't know. Maybe these people are all members of that.
And then they just did their own separate thing after.
Or, no, I mean, maybe they're just trying to redo some of Tesla experiments involving contacting aliens. And I don't know why these people are dead, but like maybe that's what that group was. That like cult or that group.
Yeah,
maybe
that's
it
what I
was
was
that.
saying. If they had like a group meeting, they went because they were in suits.
Yeah.
So if they had a meeting and then after the meeting, they're like, let's go work on our experiment on this hill.
Possibly. I don't know.
Ended up, I don't know, mixing drugs with something or whatever. And
don't know.
were poisoned, maybe even. The animals didn't bother them, so.
Poison makes a lot of sense because that's.
It does, but who would.
But I don't know why or.
Yeah, what motive?
Definitely wasn't aliens, though.
And a poison, it could take 5 minutes, it could take days. You don't know.
Yeah.
Depending on their weight, the dosage you give them, all this stuff, I'm sure it's math and It's just a gamble, so that doesn't make sense if you would.
Unless it
poison
was
and be like,
something that
skip 'em a
works
few days.
instantly.
Where's these wives?
Because it says
at?
take the pills, wait for effects. I felt the effects.
Do we question these wives? Maybe they're like, blow something else up in the backyard.
Oh, I dare you.
Yeah. Maybe these wives have been poisoning them and they finally just dropped.
Maybe.
And it just happened to be during an experiment. Mm-hmm. And they're like, score. No more of this crazy experiments going on in the backyard. Kids come in white as snow because they're covered in the white powdery stuff.
It was cocaine.
It's cocaine. He needed some weight, so he threw the bags in there. Didn't expect it to explode.
It was blowing up bags of cocaine in the backyard.
Kid come in, eyes that big and round, covered in white. She's like, oh, that's it. That's for him. I've had enough. Just putting rat poison in his capsules.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one.
It is a weird one, but you're dead set on not aliens?
Definitely not.
They never do anything bad, according to you.
I mean, I didn't say that, but they're not just going to randomly kill people.
Off
and,
one of us?
Yeah. We wouldn't find the bodies if they did. They'd take them with them and do something with it, and then they die. It's not like they're not just going to fly it down off two people and then take off. Like, it makes no sense.
True.
If they're doing anything, they're taking people with them to do something. And then if they're dead, they ain't coming back. They ain't going to bring them back.
They don't drop anybody back off?
No.
The people that say they were abducted and...
Well, I'm sure, but they're alive. They're not going to drop dead bodies back off.
yeah, not dead ones, but... What's the point in killing them?
I think killing is part of experiments.
Like oops.
Well, no, like doctors and stuff and scientists do experiments on people for hundreds of years on this planet and end up killing bunches of them.
Well, yeah.
They don't just drop the bodies in the middle of the field and say, I don't know what happened.
I don't know. Our bad. Yeah, no. Was it Russians, Chinese?
Everybody,
Somebody was...
even the U.S.
Somebody was testing breeding gorillas with humans.
Yeah.
It didn't go well.
Yeah. There's been a lot of experiments that governments and scientists and stuff, I mean, we wouldn't have half the medications we have now if not for a bunch of people dying testing things out. So.
I also read on, was it Reddit? Somewhere, all these people talking about lizard people.
Mm-hmm.
So now they were trying to say aliens were inhabiting our bodies and using us as like a skin, and that's what the lizard people technically were. Was aliens, like moment of where their eyes blink a different direction or something.
Yeah,
so they were combining those two.
Yeah, I mean, from my understanding of that, the theory of lizard people is they have the ability to shapeshift. It wasn't like using us as a suit or anything.
Yeah, but that's what they started. I was like, oh, yeah. Just to creep us out, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're like, whatever. Just don't pee in the lawn.
Get off my lawn.
Whatever. All right, well, that's it for you.
That's
open
it?
Still. Yeah.
It's still open?
It's still open.
Still an open case from the 60s?
Yeah. From what I've read, it's not closed.
Damn.
It wasn't like they said they OD'd. It's an accident. They're just like, can't do a talk screen. They rotted in the hallway waiting. Like, we don't.
Well,
it's a mystery, guys.
It's definitely a mystery, but I can 100% say it's not aliens.
He's like, we did not do this.
We didn't do this. So, that it?
Yeah. You know, one day they're going to come, like the government just came out and said, yeah, there's aliens.
Yeah, they did.
Well, they're going to come out and be like, yeah, we did kill a lot of people. We did kill that one.
Oh, the aliens are going to say we did?
Yeah, we did. Sorry. Our bad. I told him to pick it up, but he forgot them down there. To clean up, and he took all the equipment. And
our
left
cleaning
the bodies.
crew forgot to take the bodies. Yeah. Sorry. Our bad. Uh-huh. We fired Joe.
We fired Joe.
No, we fired We fired
him. Damn it.
We fired him.
I thought you guys were innocent. I had your back. It was a PR problem. We took care of it.
We took care of it. We fixed the glitch. You ever seen Office Space?
No.
Oh, that's another one we got to get you to watch. The guy in the office is that's where I got that quote from. We fixed the glitch. The guy they fired him, but they never told him he was fired. They just stopped sending him a paycheck. They're like, we fixed the glitch. Like he was still getting paid even though he had been fired, and they're like, should we tell him he's fired? And they're like, no, we just stopped sending the paychecks, so we fixed the glitch.
They're like,
they said it'll work. They figured it would work itself out.
Good. Yeah.
That's what they said. We figured it would work itself out.
Mm-hmm. Like, look,
we fixed the glitch.
And that's production and finances. Oh no.
Anyway, that it?
Yep, that's
all right.
it.
Well, if you liked the episode, feel free to like and subscribe. If you want to find us on your services, whether you want to watch the video version of our podcast or listen to the audio, you can go to loveandluminol.com and it'll have the list of everywhere we're at. There's also a contact page on there, so you can send us messages if you'd like, comment, tell us we suck, whatever. Tell us that we say a lot or look like we're falling asleep. That's great.
Yeah, because it is like 1 a.m.
It is. No, I'm just playing. Love and Luminol, at Love and Luminol is what we are on all social media. You can find us pretty much everywhere except for Twitter/X. We will not be on there. Everywhere else, including the new Threads, everywhere else, we're there. Pretty much.
This is a boycott. No.
I don't know. Let's see. Where else are we?
TikTok, we do book talks.
Yeah.
So if you're an avid reader like me, check it out.
Yeah, we've been doing some book talks on there. We do occasional random videos on there sometimes. We need to do some more, though.
Yeah.
But, hit us up. Mm-hmm. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Well. See you next time.
Justice is out. See you guys.
Bye.